And do we forgive our colleagues? Sandra, very good, very good, very good. Sandra said that in addition to the things that in addition to the people that I mentioned, Sandra said ourselves.
Word, I was gonna say that too.
Yes, yes, yes. Sandra, can you elaborate with us, please? Sandra? Okay.
If she don't, I could talk about it a little bit.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get back to the screen. I was having technical difficulties as well.
We forgive you. We forgive you.
Yeah, you have to learn how to forgive yourself, because a lot of time, or not a lot of time, sometimes we get into relationship, friendships, and predicaments that we know that we have some concern about whether we should be in that relationship or whether we should give this situation our attention, and we get involved. And then once we get involved, we kind of, you get angry with yourself, like, gosh, why did I put myself out there like that? And I can speak for myself. I have gotten into relationships where I know I second guessed it from the beginning. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give this person an opportunity. And then I get caught up in it and then end up like, I knew I shouldn't have. And then you have to learn to forgive yourself, because a lot of time I always tell people, I say, I'm mad at my own self. You you get mad at your own self. Like, how could I have been so naive, or just allow myself just to put myself out there like that? So yeah, sometimes you have to forgive yourself, because you can be mad at yourself for a minute and then you really can get sick from that. But yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, and I think that was very, very important. It is very important for us to forgive ourselves, to exhale and be like, oh my gosh, trust me. And it could be in a relationship, like a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship, a business partnership. It could be any kind of relationship where we were vulnerable, and it's okay to be vulnerable, because being vulnerable means that you're human. And I don't think any of us can deny. Yeah. So I don't think that any of us can deny that we're being human. So we can extend grace to ourselves. Brother Hatem, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that it's important that we forgive ourselves, because if we don't do that first, then all the other forgiveness we given is not real. It's certain things that a lot of us, we might feel guilty about, we might feel bad about, that can hinder us from moving towards a successful and a happy life. We hold ourselves back by holding grudges against ourselves. And those grudges make it easier for us to pay the tax of holding a grudge against others.
I need you to, you just can't end with the soul.
What?
Please.
No, well, because it's like when we don't forgive, we're holding someone, we think we're holding someone hostage, when in fact we are taxing ourselves. We're taking our own energy, we're taking our own thoughts, we're taking our own emotions, we're taking our own spirit, and we're investing it in trying to hurt somebody else, when in fact we are just basically taxing ourselves of that energy, of that spiritual currency, and we can't utilize it in our own lives.
I feel like there's so much more that you can add to that. And I'm looking around, she's not here. Okay, so I got a little bit of tea, right? Just a little bit of tea. And it's always, all of my stories have to do with my kids, most all of them. My daughter and I are like this, like super duper close, we think we BFFs or whatever. And so this week, Wednesday, she started a new job, and we're going to work, and she's quiet, like silent, like nothing came out of her mouth. Usually she's a chatterbox. And boy, I started to feel some kind of way. I didn't say anything. And then finally I said, Naya, what's wrong? And she was like, nothing. I just don't feel like talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you talk all day. So for me, I was feeling some kind of way. I really, really was. Because, you know, sometimes I don't want to talk, but I'm gonna talk anyway, just because that's what we do. We just chatterboxes. She didn't talk for the whole day. And then she didn't even apologize. The next day, you know, she came downstairs and she was like, so mom, like nothing happened. And I'm sitting in the bed like, I know, because all night I was just ruminating, just thinking like, what could I have said? What could I have done? Wait a minute, I ain't say nothing to her. You know, I'm the mama. Who does she think she is? Catching attitude. So here I am having a full out conversation with myself about, you know, something that was going on with her. And the honest to God truth is the fact that we do have things going on within us that sometimes we don't want to talk about. We don't necessarily have to say ask forgiveness per se, but if we're with someone who, you know, maybe real tender like me, like I was, you know, we may want to respond to them and say, well, you know, I know that I wasn't talking much, or I feel kind of bad about it. You know, will you forgive me? But then sometimes I guess maybe on the flip side, you don't have to apologize, you know, because that person should know you. So I should have known that, you know, this was a difficult time for her, seeing this was her first day to work and it was a crazy day. But it's important to extend grace to ourselves. It's important to maybe not necessarily think so much, think that the world evolves around us, you know, and I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody here who thinks the world should evolve around them, especially their children. But yeah, anybody else?
I am live here, Dr.Jacks. Open chat. Come on out and join
Stephanie, I
us.
think sometimes we
Check my
we
timeline
hold generational
for
grudges.
the
You know, we don't, you know, our
Zoom
parents didn't forgive
ID.
somebody some
Going
years
and
ago, and
watching
we hold that
my
grudge
Facebook.
against their children, and we don't even know why.
Media.
Just because back years ago somebody didn't say I'm sorry, and we just carry on and on and on.
So are you saying that if we just said I'm sorry or I apologize, that could solve a lot of even generational issues?
Yes, just a simple I'm sorry. You know, and I have lived through that. Where my mama had a friend that they had a disagreement, you know, way back in the day, because they had a disagreement and we went to high school with her children. They didn't want us to have a relationship because they was on the out, you know, way before we even became in the world. But then we grew up and we learned how to, I guess we kind of forgave our parents for each other so we could be friends.
Wow.
You know, and we are friends to this day. You know, but I think growing up and you see the damage that some, you know, just unforgiveness can do, not only to the older people, but it goes further than just the person that you holding a grudge against. It follows you. It follows your children. Just because you can't say you're sorry.
Jackie, that was so deep. That was really, really deep. And yeah, I would like for us to get back to that. Brother Mark, he came out of his sick bed, y'all. He got something to say. Listen.
Here, Jackie told just now actually brought something to mind. What kind of parents are we if we tell our kids to always forgive people and be nice to people and we don't even do it?
Ooh.
How can you teach a forgiving heart when you don't even have one?
Oh, you know what? You are preaching. You are preaching.
I've seen too many times where people are always talking about how they always try to teach their kids the right things to do and the right things to say. And I'm sitting there watching, but you don't even do that.
Right.
So you're a hypocrite.
Right. Right.
So if we expect to build a better generation of forgivers, how about we create ourselves first and turn ourselves into forgivers?
Oh.
Yep, he is absolutely right. And I
Okay, I
think
go and sit
sometimes
back down now.
as parents, we don't see what we doing to our children, but our children watch it. They watch what we do, they watch what we say, and they watch how we act. And they pick up on a lot of stuff that, we try to teach, but we're not doing it ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jackie, you know what? Going back to your story, I remember my I think it was my grandma, kind of like the story what you're saying. My grandma wasn't friends with someone. My mom came along and she wasn't allowed to be friends with my grandma's friends' kids, right? And so here I come along and I'm wondering, what's going on with these, because the guys in that family were some really good looking guys. And I'm like, my mom was like, you can't talk to them. Don't ever say anything to them. And so what does that make you do as a child? It makes you inquisitive. It makes you sneak. It makes you behave in ways that, aren't becoming, so you're sneaking around like, I know we're not allowed to talk, but, you're a good looking guy. We should go out on a date or something like that. And then you're sneaking. And then once your parents find out, it's like, all hell is now broken loose. Right? So, and I think it was a show. What is the Hatfield and the McCoys or something?
That wasn't a show. That's real life.
That family like didn't get along or something.
Yeah, that's
like
real
that.
life.
Like those families, like forever and ever, I suppose, didn't get along. But
yeah, that's not a show. That was real life.
Oh, okay. See, we weren't really allowed to watch TV that much, so I don't growing up. So. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else?
Okay, this is Halima here. How's everyone?
You're doing good. Thank you for asking. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I got some little bug here I'm trying to get rid of, but other than that, I'm blessed and I'm thankful. Got to chime in here because this one is very dear to me. Stephanie knows my daughter, Latisse. We have been estranged for going on 6 years now. And she has basically separated our family, her and her children, and it's her side and my side. I have asked for forgiveness many times for anything I have done as a mother that has hurt her, how I can make it right. But it came to a point where I was hurting myself. I was becoming ill, trying to think of what I could have done, what I didn't do, how I can make it right. And I came to a point where I had to let it go because she wasn't ready to deal with it. And if the person who is upset with you cannot heal themselves, there's nothing that you can do about it. You have to let it go before it takes you out.
Word.
So although there's grandchildren and great-grandchildren that I have not laid eyes on, and that hurts, I'm okay with it because I know one day I'll be an ancestor and I will be able to tap into them children and they will know me. They have my blood, they have my DNA. They will know me one day. So that's how I dealt with it, and I'm all for forgiving. Because you have to let it go. The person who is angry is the person who is being hurt. And like the sister said, it's generational. And it could be something unbeknownst to us. It could have been something that happened generations ago. And it's manifesting itself in our family right now. Because that kind of trauma continues on. And we might not know where it's coming from, but we have to deal with it. We have to acknowledge that something is there. It's not right. I'm upset with my mother. I know that's not the right thing. That's not how to live. You can't be mad at your mother your whole life. So you have to acknowledge that. You have to heal yourself first. But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I have forgiven her and never stopped loving her or her children. Never. But yeah, forgiveness it's a necessary mental wellness. You have to let it go or it will eat you up.
And I'm glad you brought that up because
Excuse me.
unforgiveness can tear a family apart.
Yeah, it has.
Unforgiveness can tear a family apart. We have two people that have just joined us here on Facebook. Maybe next week, you guys, I'll figure out exactly how to bring other people on. But those people that are here, Mother Parker and Chris. Hey, Chris. Can you guys hear me? Okay, because I don't know that I can hear you guys. All right. Let's see. Chris, would you like to jump in and say something? Mother Parker, would you like to jump in and say something?
Sure.
Yes. So
sure. I like the subject about unforgiveness. And when you think about it, forgiveness, first of all, is for the person. Sometimes we think because someone injured us or said something that that really hurt us, that they need to forgive. Oh no, she did it to me, or he did it to me, so they need to forgive me. But the forgiveness is for yourself, because when even if a person offends you and you don't forgive that person, you stop living. It's like you're in a standstill. You have no peace. Your joy is gone because you're expecting someone else to forgive you. Forgive them, forgive yourself, and move on. And our problem is, I never forget it. I never forgive them. But the Bible says that if you don't forgive the person that has offended you, then how can you in your prayer life ask God to forgive you? It doesn't work like that. We want forgiveness, but we don't want to forgive nobody else. I think that's a little issue there. But we have to forgive ourselves. And as I said again, when you forgive yourself, you can do great exploits, because it's all about you being free. The other person, they can walk and go on with their lives, and then you still standing, blaming that same person year after year. Well, they didn't ask me to forgive them. The sad thing about it, people can go a lifetime holding one offense against somebody because and sisters, family members, they're good in it. I mean, they're so good. Oh, no, I'm not going to forgive her. She could never say nothing else to me. And then you go on and a whole lifetime. And when that sister's name is brought up or whatever, that envy, that hurt comes back up. You're the one that's in prison, not the sister, because the sister is going on with her life. Forgive yourself. As they said, breathe in and breathe out. Mm-hmm. Girl, exhale, okay? Mm-hmm. Don't exhale that stuff out and go on and be happy.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And that sister is at that same cookout eating potato salad, and you sitting over there steaming like, look at her eating that potato salad like that. I can't stand it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mother Parker. And thank you, Mother Halima. Don't leave. Brother Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Very good. I think I'm kind of jumping in on the back end, but just to kind of piggyback, forgiveness is for me. It's so that I don't hold that grudge against other people that come in my life at a later state of my life, so that I'm treating them or punishing them for something that someone else did to me. So forgiveness is for me. There's two parts to that, because you have reconciliation and restoration, right? So I can forgive you, but do I offer you the opportunity to reconcile? To say, can you give back to me what you took, right? Ooh. I have to. And then the other piece is restoration. Do I allow you to go back to the same place that you were before? So forgiveness, I believe, is required, but I don't have to reconcile, and I don't have to restore. And so those are the things that, for me, there are three pieces to that.
Mother Parker, I see you saying, whoa, wasn't that deep? I don't know if the group was able to hear what he said. Forgiveness has three
We can hear it.
parts.
We can hear him.
Okay, good. Because I'm gonna have to repeat it and get it all messed up.
That was really good. But reconciliation, when you can reconcile, I believe it adds more to it because now you can sit at the same table with that person, carry a conversation, and feel no animosity. Mm-hmm. So reconciliation, when you forgive and you can't reconcile, and I understand that you don't have to stay in the same house with that person, but when you can do it, it says more about you and more about what God has done in your life than anybody can even see. So reconciliation is good. Forgiveness is better. Reconciliation is like an added bonus.
Right.
And we can forgive and we can forget. But it's a choice. Mm-hmm. Most time we choose not to forget.
Not to.
But when you choose to forget, I'm like a tape recorder, true enough. You know, someone into you is there. But you know what? When it comes up, you don't have to take that and rewind it and rehurt. You can choose to forget. Because it's really not worth it. Come on. It really isn't worth it.
I think the human condition, so we aren't going to be like God no matter how much we try, right? So the human condition doesn't allow us to forget. No matter how hard you try. There's some people out there that can, they're better than I probably will ever be. But you never forget because some people don't change. And so you still have to use wisdom able to say, okay, well, I can forgive you because that's for me. Maybe I can reconcile, allow you to make amends within the restoration piece. So for me, if that person hasn't changed, then me allowing them into the same space that they were before, knowing that they have not changed, then where does the wisdom piece come in? Then I become a fool if I allow them to do the same thing over.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Chris?
I think he was finished.
Oh, he froze.
Oh.
Chris, you froze?
Am I back or no?
Not really.
But this goes back to also being able to establish healthy boundaries. When we first started Sofa Chat, one of the major things we talked about was being able to establish those boundaries. And just because you forgive doesn't mean that you have to open yourself up for further harm. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, those of us that had that crack ran through our families, there were certain family members that we knew that we had to forgive. But I sure wasn't gonna let you back in my house again. That don't mean I don't love you. My grandmama called it loving them with a long handled spoon.
Right. Absolutely.
Did I unfreeze? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, you unfroze. We can at least hear you.
Okay, I think I heard the back end of what he's saying.
Tell him to go back out and come back in.
Hey, Chris, if you could go back out and come back in, can you do that? Yep. Okay. He went out and he's going to come back in. So as promised, I have an exercise that I would like to demonstrate that we could do each day in the morning. We spend between 5 and 10 minutes a day just doing this stretch. And what this stretch does is it helps to relieve lower back pain. So for those of us who can't go to the chiropractor, because going to the chiropractor can be expensive. Yes, it can be. But, you know, these are things that you could do in the stead of going to the chiropractor or in between going to the chiropractor. So there's this one stretch that I would like to demonstrate. It helps to relieve lower back pain. It opens up our hips. And it also helps with digestion. And then it also helps us to get our mind and in our brain and kind of like freeze our brain so that we can bring in those nice endorphins that helps us to relax. All right, so I'm gonna bend the camera down. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. Now, do I practice this every day? No, but I'm gonna demonstrate. I'm gonna demonstrate how you should practice. Do as I do, but not as I say. No, I think I got that mixed up. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see if y'all can see this. All right, so what you do is you get on your knees and it's like you're in a prostrate position, like you're praying. It's like a yoga pose, I suppose, but you're gonna get on your knees here. Hope you guys can see me. All right, and then you're going to bend down just like this. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
So you're just gonna do that for like 5 minutes, or as long as you can stand it. I think those 2 seconds right there was as long as I could stand it right now. But again, that exercise, what it does is it helps you to open up your hips. It helps to relieve lower back pain. It helps with digestion, and it also helps you get in a mind frame of relaxing. All right. All right. Brother Hatem, I think you were saying something. I don't think Brother Chris came back, but I think you were saying something. Can you continue with what you were saying about what you said earlier about forgiveness and how, like Grandma said, you don't have to bring them back in your house, but you can still love them from a distance. Can you elaborate on that?
I was listening because when we first started the sofa chats, one of the major things that used to come out was this whole thing about being able to set up boundaries. Because a lot of we don't have boundaries, and in our quest to forgive, sometimes we open ourselves up to be damaged again. We have to be wise with it because, like I said, he gave us 3 steps. None of them said open yourself up so that you could be hurt again, especially when somebody is under the control of other things. Some people are very passionate about things in good ways and bad ways. Some people are chemically connected to things that they need that will make them move outside of what you knew. And sometimes we got to accept people where they are. And this is what I mean. I have had people in my life that when I dealt with them as if I was in the past, not taking into account that life had hit them as well. So they were a lot different. So we have to go and accept that. But I do want to go, because you was talking about the exercise and you was demonstrating exercise. One of the things I think that we have to monitor as well is our breathing. We could talk a little bit more about that. And then also, a lot of us feel bad because we feel some of the feelings that we do. We don't honor the feelings that we're going through when we are in a tough situation, and we try to bury them. And I think that makes it harder for us to even move to the point of being able to forgive. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, no, I was gonna, and you always be like, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I really like, I can just speak for myself. I really like when you elaborate.
We only got an hour. I could elaborate. I'm making my living elaborating. So
you You get paid for that, right? This ain't what you get paid for. You ain't
No,
get paid
what I'm saying is, I could elaborate for an hour and a half. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I want to give the family an opportunity to go on and talk, because it's certain pains that we all have, and of course we started talking about forgiving ourselves first, but then once again we got to honor our feelings, and we got to go and ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? Because sometimes we feel guilty about being angry about certain things when that's not right. You was given anger for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You was given sadness for a reason. You know what I'm saying? What are these feelings trying to tell us? But we have been taught that we're supposed to block it out, and we're supposed to always be happy and joyous, when that's not the fact.
No.
That's not the fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need to be able to honor the feelings so that we can go and move past them.
I totally agree. Looks like Michael, my brother Michael. Michael, is that you? Is that
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, no. Hi, Michael Neal. Hey.
Hey, I'm driving, but I just wanted to give an amen to that brother stating that about God allowing us to be angry and understanding our anger.
Because that's a part of our humanity, right? If we can be happy, we can be sad. If we could be, happy, we could be angry. If we could feel good, we could feel the opposite. So that's all a part of life. But I wanted to get back to, and thank you, Michael. Did you want to share something else?
Yes, just real quick, I'll say that I believe that this forgiveness can often be just kind of misconstrued, because it's really a long, sometimes ugly process. And we don't give people grace to go through that process. One of the pet peeves I do have is when something horrific happens to a family, and the newscaster gets right in the face of the surviving loved ones or the person's injured and say, do you forgive that person for X, Y, or Z?
And that's only
Just
with
think
us,
about,
though.
yeah, thank you. So imagine how ugly that is, that question, knowing that forgiveness is something that's deeply personal between that person and God, and people have to be able to admit that it is a process. So never judge people or question them if they're not at a state of forgiveness right now, and allow them to come to it at their own pace. And I also agree that forgiveness, there also does not have to be reconciliation. You don't have to reconcile yourself to your rapist or the person that murdered your family. The main thing that forgiveness does, it allows you not to be held in bondage by forever, especially by a stranger. So wherever you are on your forgiveness journey, it's sort of like grief. Give people the space to get there on their own, of course, with support and prayer. But if somebody's not there, hey, let's try to respect them and not chastise them.
And I think
that's part of what I was talking about too, because it's like we don't allow ourselves to experience the full human experience. And we want to rush other people, because for so long in America, we had to learn how to get over stuff quick. So they don't even expect us. They don't even expect us to be mad for any long period of time. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna shut up.
And you don't have to, but that's a good point that you brought up, because I wanted to go back to Mother Halima. So
is she out of Columbus? Was she out of Columbus?
Yeah, you remember Halima.
Oh, okay.
We're all family.
Okay. I know who we talking about now. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. So, Mother Halima, you said that you shared with us, and thank you for your transparency. You shared with us the relationship that you have with your daughter. Did you find that you needed to seek therapy to get past it, to get to that point where you were able to let it go
No, I didn't seek out any professional help. I healed myself. I came face to face with it. I dealt with it on a daily basis. In some way, I wrote down my feelings. I wrote down how I felt that I approached the situation. I wrote letters to my grandchildren and I let it go. You know, it's not, you know, I still don't feel good about it. I wish it were different. If she walked through the door and said, Mom, forgive me, no question. But I have asked for forgiveness, you know, and she's not ready. There's nothing I can do. So I had to work on myself. And I think I am at a place where I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm okay. It's not festering in me.
Yeah.
Where
Because
I would wake up at night and worry, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, my grandchildren, I'm not seeing them and they can't talk to me. And oh, that's gone.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Mother Parker, you shaking your head. I know you can chime in.
I mean, I'm listening to everyone, and you know, we are all individuals, and as long as we're living on this earth, you're gonna always be faced with forgiveness, forgiving, dealing with the process of forgiving. Yes. You know, I was thinking about even myself, you know, with my experience about my son being killed. My oldest son was killed. I mean, I had to go through the process of forgiving the killer. You know, you talking about, should I ever forgive that person because he took someone that I love? I was the one that was being held in prison, you know? So it was a process. Yes, I did. I came to the point where I could truly say that I have forgiven him because I'm going on with my life. But what happened to me propelled me into what I'm doing now, because now I'm reaching out to other children. I'm encouraging, I'm depositing into them. So every experiences of our lives, whether someone offended you, whether whatever it may be, I believe that those things can propel you into what God has purposed you to be. Reconciliation, if you can reconcile with a person, reconcile with that person. I'm not saying sit down and party, and I'm not talking about that. If you can, that's up to you. But each individual has their own way, as I heard, of processing the forgiveness. And, you know, sometimes it might take a month. Sometimes it may take 2 months. Sometimes you know, you're 3 years into it and you forgiving that person, and all of a sudden, you know, you hear that person's name and then it sparks something in you. What do? You got a choice to react to envy and to hurt, or you have a choice to say, you know what? I just got to go on. I've forgiven that thing. So it's going to come back. Yes, it will. But it's your choice how you choose to deal with it and go on. We all need to grow up. We all need to grow up. I know it hurt. God knows I know it hurt. And I go through those things sometimes 2 or 3 times a day because I'm a giving person. I'm a person. I'm trustworthy. I'm very trusting. I've allowed people to come into my life that have hurt me dearly, dearly. But in all of that, I still have because when I say I'm the bigger person, I know it's a process, and I'm gonna go through that process. You know, but when that person come back, I might remember what they did, and I'm not gonna say, no, you can't come and sit on this couch again.
Right.
But I love you, and I can understand that. So individually, all of us are dealing with all sorts of things.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. So the time is 8:03, and I would like for us to continue this conversation on forgiveness at our next meeting. I don't want to hold you guys up, right now. I'm so very thankful for everyone who came out tonight, for everyone who shared. This is an opportunity for us to open up and for us to share what's going on, because I believe that when we speak and when we talk about these things, we can heal ourselves. Like Mother Halima said, this leads to healing, rather, when we have an opportunity to talk. When I hear what Mother Parker said, when I hear what Mother Halima said, when I hear what Kathy and Jackie and Cheryl and Mike and Hatem and Michael said, and Mark, it helps me to get better, because there are some things that I hold on to and I'm like, this is mine. I'm just gonna hold on to it. But guess what? That hurts me. Why would I hold on to something that hurts? That's like holding on to a hot plate. Why would I hurt? Why would I intentionally hurt myself by holding on to this hot plate? All because I refuse to let it go. And so it's imperative that we do that. If it's okay with you all, we can continue this conversation, God willing, on next week. Is there anything that anyone else would like to share? I'm sorry, Mother Parker.
I think it's a great topic, because we are moving into the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and this is really good to get your things cleared.
Before you get around that potato salad, you don't want to be arguing and fussing and who made the macaroni and cheese. You don't want to do none of that. You want to go there and be at peace, because life is too short. I hate to say life is short. Life is precious. Time is short. So, we want to embrace the time that we have with the people that we have, because, people are perishable. People don't last forever. But that's another point. Anybody else have any closing remarks or anything that they would like to share? I know that Brother Mark is not feeling well, and he usually gives us a parting word, but we have Mother Parker here, who we just lean on right on the spot to give us a parting word.
The parting word is this: if you want to continue enjoying life and being fruitful and multiplying, you must come to the place in your life where you don't sweat the small stuff. Get up, shake yourself, or get down on your knees and breathe right.
Come on now.
And let's go on to better things.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mother Parker. Brother Hatem, if you're available next week, can you demonstrate for us some breathing exercises?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Awesome.
All right. Well, God willing, we'll see you all next week. Y'all have a blessed week. Take care.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, everyone.